Hi there. The reason I'm checking in today is perhaps you're feeling a little bit like me, perhaps you're looking for a little bit of inspiration. And I just wanted to share because, as I say, it'd be lovely if there's some other people out there who kind of want to join me in my little project that I've got in mind. Um, I was inspired by my garden really. Since the start of lockdown, one of the things that I set out to do was to sort out my garden because really for the last couple of years it's been neglected and loved. I didn't have that life work balance, so it was one of those things that was the last thing on my mind, and it really took the recent storms to just destroy everything. Fences came down, plants got broken down, loads of things that I loved just all got destroyed. And the current virus gave me the opportunity, the time to restore it. It was hard work and started from scratch, and it's now finished. But obviously now I've got to wait to see my hard work sort of come to fruition, to see the plants start to come back and everything like that. And when I was thinking about that, especially after then, I felt poorly. I didn't have any energy. I didn't feel very well. It was not really a nice couple of weeks. I started looking the reflection of the garden that I look outside, and especially now that the weather's going to change, I thought about myself that maybe when I didn't have that work-life balance, maybe what I had done to the garden, I kind of done a little bit to myself, maybe neglected myself a little bit. I loved myself a little bit. And one of the things that I do believe that the key to everything is the right kind of balance. And so when I look out there to the garden and I'm just waiting to see everything come into fruition because results are not instant, I just thought I wanted to give myself a little bit of that. I wanted to feel like that garden that just looked so unloved and neglected. And now I look at it and think, wow, what can be achieved with hard work, dedication, and focus. So I want to do that a little bit with myself, especially because when I wasn't well, I didn't really eat that healthy because sometimes I didn't feel like eating. And when I did, I probably wanted to eat things that were just all sugary to give me an energy boost. And especially with the whole virus situation, I've had the whole family to cater for. So even that's lunchtime, dinner, and everything just, I just lost that balance, that happy balance of things. When it comes to activity and exercise, well, I haven't really had any energy to do that, been last thing on my mind. But now I want to get back to all those things. And then I'm thinking, right, how am I going to do that? And what do I want to achieve? So I've written down some things here. So basically, as well, when I sort of thought about, I was sorting out some things all to do with all the courses I've done. And I thought, I've got no excuse not to achieve this. Of anybody, I've got no excuse, whether from the point of a health coach, a weight loss coach, working in the fitness industry for years, I've got no excuse not to achieve this because obviously I've got all the tools. And one of the things as well that motivated me, I jumped on the scales and boy, did I get a shock. And it just shows that, not being active, not paying any attention to what you eat. And I just thought, I've got to hit that pause button now. I've got to readdress that now. And why not? You can address at any point. So now is a great time. So how am I going to do that? So first of all, I've got to plan, because it's all very well go, I'm going to do this, but if I haven't got a plan, that's not going to happen. But also measuring in the sense everything. This is my starting point. So it doesn't matter where I am, but measuring everything. So one of the ways that I'm going to measure when it comes to activity and exercise, I'm going to do things like I want to measure how long I can hold a plank now, how many press-ups I can do. So I'll share with you afterwards what I'm going to measure as well, and you can do something like that or your own. And then if I measure that weekly so that I see progress, because when you see progress, that's what motivates you. It's like when I was doing my garden, when I see progress, you think, right, I want more of that, and you eventually get there. So really important to measure everything. So the obvious ones, obviously I've got the biometric scale, so I'm going to do that, but just measuring your weight. As well, I'm going to take my body measurements. As I said, everything to do with exercise, I want to measure that. Also, I want to measure my mindset as to where I am now. So ask myself the right questions and write it down in my journal, and mindset in a very honest way. How motivated do I really feel? How confident do I feel? How strong do I feel? How strong do I feel mentally and physically? How do I feel about my own body image? All those things, I want to write them down, and what my why is. Why is this important to me? Why I got inspired by the garden, but why do I want that? And I have some very strong ones, especially because I wasn't well. So that's something that I'm going to write down as well. And another thing that I looked here that I thought as part of all this like project or revamping or making things better, making myself healthier, I wanted to look at relationships as well. All of those relationships, whether it's your husband, your partner, your loved ones, your kids, your friendships, all the relationships that you have in your life, and sort of measure where they are now, and as well what you want from that, what you would like them to look like. Now, this sort of totally focusing on myself can look like very self-indulgent or maybe selfish. But I think a lot of the time we sort of look around us at how, especially when it comes to other people, or how we would like them to be, whether it could be at work, your boss, how you wish they could be, your children, how you wish they could behave or what they could do, or even your partner or even your friends, everything. It's very easy to look around us at other people and how we wish they would be or could be that would make us feel better or happier. But we've got to start with ourselves, right? Do we look at ourselves with that same sort of view, that how we can look at other people and how their life could be better or they could behave better or whatever? And I'm just going to really bring that to myself and start sort of looking at all those things. And it's not a critical or a negative way, but this, I don't know, maybe this whole me being ill or whatever just gave me a lot of time. I was supposed to lie there and think, just made me see the opportunities of this. Because although we're in lockdown, the opposite to that is freedom, is releasing. And when I think of releasing the potential, setting free all the opportunities, and I just thought this is such a great time to do all those things. But in order to do it, I've got to plan. I've got to write it down, and I've got to then measure my progress to achieve it. I'm just writing down the things here so that sort of went through my mind. As well, whatever I achieve, I want it to be balanced. I'm a great believer in balance, because anything that's too extreme is not going to be sustainable, right? It's not going to last. So it's got to have that balance that then that's going to be sustainable. And then you're just going to, like the garden that comes into fruition, you're going to watch what you do come into fruition and then maintain it. So you sort of keep that sort of happy place. And something that I thought, why am I inspired by my garden? I thought, why is it? Oh, because I realized it brought me so much happiness. And I think having neglected it and not having that, and then having it back, I realized how much joy. And because for me, garden, to me, what I see outside, it represents life, it represents health, it represents growth, it represents something blooming and transforming. It's creative for me. And the effort and reward, because you have to put in the effort, but boy, do you see the reward. And I think it's the same of this project, what I want to do with me is do all those things, because those things are going to represent health, life, growth, blooming. Because even at my age, yes, you can bloom in a different way. And as well, putting in the effort and seeing the reward. And then as well, I put down a lot of the questions that I'm going to ask myself. What do I want more of? Okay, whether I want to be stronger physically, more fitness, I want a healthier diet, I want to eat more nutritious foods that are going to help me stay healthy and strong. And what do I want less of? So say, for example, I love a glass of wine or a gin and tonic or a mojito. And I believe I'm not going to go teetotal. I still want to have those things in my life, but am I really enjoying them now, or do I go, oh, it's just wine o'clock? And do I need to have less of that? And to look at that and question that and just be and think, right, that isn't a healthy balance, so I need to readdress that. So what are the things that maybe I could do with less in my life? Like even being out in the garden, like a cup of tea and a biscuit. That's something that, yes, I have occasionally, but that's not something that in the past that would be a cup of tea and a biscuit. But now you get into that habit, and the minute you have a cup of tea, you think, well, what can I have with that? Because suddenly you've got into a different kind of habit. So it's just like looking at all those things and reevaluating them. I don't know when this lockdown is going to end. I don't know how, or, we can't predict what's going to happen. But what I want to do is the same as I know that I've come out with something that's given me immense pleasure, which is my garden. I want something that makes me feel good that I've done for myself, so that I have then more to give. And even with the thing of like the exercise, I can get like my family involved and my kids involved. I know my son, I'll say, right, how many press ups can you do? And he'll challenge and think, oh, how much can he improve on his personal best, and so on. So I want to make it a family thing as well. Again, with the food, with the planner, I've done a 2-week plan. I'm talking to them because it's been harder to keep everybody happy, but as well to eat how I want to eat as well. So all those things. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on now, but I will share sort of my plan and how I'm going to do it and that. But maybe you've reflected as well, and you've maybe felt that you've changed habits during this lockdown. You got yourself into some habits that you want to change, and maybe you just see this an opportunity that this is the opportunity to release, set free that potential, that person that you want to be. So I don't know, it could be in any way. It could be related to exercise, it could be related to your diet, it could be related to your mindset, to your confidence, to your relationships, but maybe you want to join me as well. Okay, so that's enough from me, and I will sort of update you with, as I say, how I'm planning to do this. But for now, bye.